Welcome to the complete animation of Maid Marian from Walt Disney Animation Studios' masterpiece Robin Hood. Now, I already made a complete animation of this character before, but this time I did it using DaVinci Resolve's new AI Magic Mask 2 tool, which I hope will show off just how cool it is when AI is able to completely overhaul workflows of previously really hard jobs. Because it turns out that masking out one part of a video file used to be a really big job. Entire people's jobs would be to do this. But this tool basically does it for me. And it's not perfect. And I think a big part of that is I messed up some of the settings. I don't know the settings that well, and it didn't help that I tried to change the timeline resolution halfway through making the project. So I think I'll make this video again when I can get a 4K video file, because I think that that's one of the things that this tool really struggles with, is the low resolution of just a 1080p video, especially after you crop into the character and then zoom in. There just isn't that much resolution. And if you know anything about AI, it's that the more data it has, the better. And so when you're trying to make a mask of a character and the character isn't that high resolution, it's crazy to think that 1080p HD isn't that high resolution these days. But yeah, when it's not that high res, then you get issues. And also a combination of my lack of experience and my lack of desire to spend that much effort on this project gave a bunch of some of the more complicated scenes some artifacts that probably would be nice if they weren't there. But overall, I just think this is such a cool tool. I think that I'll be using this a lot going forward. Making my complete animation videos, one of the things that I always struggle with is getting past YouTube's content ID. Although Disney usually isn't that big of an issue. Disney movies, I think that every company can put their own settings for how sensitive they are to, their content being used anywhere on the platform. And I think that Disney has usually pretty low settings, because I've made a bunch of complete animations, and the Disney movies usually I don't have to do very much at all to keep it from getting flagged by content ID. But then there's Warner Brothers, and holy cow, Warner Brothers must have been like, oh, we're just going to flip that to all the way up, and that's just how it is. Because the old way I did cropping, I would try to crop the frame just around the character, and if the character moves a lot, I'd try to move the frame with the character. And sometimes I don't have to do that too hard. Sometimes I don't have to go frame by frame cropping into the character in order to avoid content ID. But then sometimes, like with Warner Brothers stuff, I have to basically I used to call it the nuclear option, but I think that this is going to be the new nuclear option for getting characters, where it's really hard to content ID an entire frame when not only is it just a fraction of the actual footage, but that footage has now been masked out to just one character. And yeah, I think that that's what I'll probably be doing most of going forward, is if there's some scene that is really struggling to get past content ID, instead of going back and tweaking the framing and the cropping all that much, instead I'll just use this. Although I do really like how this looks. I do like seeing just one character in the void, almost as if that character's cells were being lifted off of the video file. And who knows, maybe when I do this again, if I do it again, my knowledge with how it works will have improved and it will look better. Or maybe I'll have a high resolution video file to work from. But there are some of my older complete animation videos that I feel like need a rework, especially like Dixie and Rita. Those are two characters that just stick out in my mind as I really didn't know what I was doing back then, and the videos don't hold up compared to my current standards, which is weird because this is like one of the most low effort YouTube projects ever. But even so, experience and levels of acceptable personal quality abound even here. But one of the things that really just stuck out to me while working on this video is just how beautiful Robin Hood is. Robin Hood continues to be just such an amazing movie, and there's nothing like it. You look through the entire corpus of all animation, and it just stands as a singular thing. There is nothing like Robin Hood except Robin Hood. You know, there's the rumors that there's going to be a live action, quote unquote, remake of Robin Hood. And I don't know, but I kind of want to see it. At least look at it. Maybe it probably won't be as good as this because this movie has just perfect pacing. Yeah, this is one of those scenes where the outlines really got messed up when I changed resolutions and then changed it back. But yeah, I really want a 4K release of Robin Hood. That is the thing I want. I just want to own this movie in 4K. Is that too much to ask? Like, especially if they fix the cropping, because if you look at the DVD releases, the VHS releases, and the Blu-ray release, you'll see that they kind of cropped some of the top and bottom off of this version to make it more widescreen. But it's like, come on, don't crop the original aspect ratio. Give us black bars, whatever. Thanks for watching.